secret weapon to this dressing, Worcester. Welcome to Make It Vegan, where I show you traditionally non-veg dishes and make them deliciously vegan. I'm your host, Priyanka Naik, and I'm very excited about today's episode. This is a lunch that is very popular in the States, and it's something that I used to eat in my darker ages when I ate non-veg. Boo! If you guessed chicken Caesar wrap, then you're right. You win. You win a vegan Caesar wrap. And I'm very excited to make this dish for you today because it's easier than you think, and it's something that you can make ahead of time, and it's so delicious. Crisp, it's gonna be so good. You wanna come in the kitchen with me? So first we're gonna start with everyone's favorite ingredient, tofu. And I say that with sarcasm because tofu gets so much hate, but it's such a good protein source. It's really good for you in general, and it makes for a great chicken substitute. Now I wanna show you what I did with this tofu. You're wondering probably why is it sitting in this silicone baggie? Well, I brought some extra firm tofu from the grocery store. I drained it of the juices that it's sitting in, and then I placed it into this silicone baggie and I froze it overnight and I thawed it. That sounds like a lot of work, but trust me, it's totally worth it. I like to just get a batch of tofu, drain it, put it in a silicone bag and freeze a batch, and then whip it out and use it to make a chicken Caesar wrap or really anything else. And what it does to the tofu is it provides a texture that's a little bit more firm and grainy, so when you cook it up, it tastes a little bit more like chicken. I know, right? Magic. So we have our tofu here. I'm gonna take it out of the silicone bag, and we're gonna get a kitchen towel, and we're just gonna wanna squeeze out any excess moisture. So I just wanna show you what a regular non-frozen tofu looks like and compare it to our frozen tofu. So we have a slab here, and if you look at the regular tofu that has not been frozen, it's much juicier, it's a little bit silkier, and sometimes that causes the breading or any topping that you put on to fall off if you air fry it or fry it. So to avoid that, we froze it and then thawed it, and you could see it's a little bit more grainier, it's not as silky, so any coating we put on is really gonna adhere to the tofu. All right. So we have our slabs, and before we start breading them, I'm gonna just give it one more dab to make sure all the moisture is out. And we're gonna get our breading station ready. We just want 2 bowls. One is gonna have our egg substitute in it, and the next is our breading. I'm actually using cornflakes cereal, plain cornflakes, that I've blended down into a powder. I'm gonna add a little bit of garlic chive salt, a little bit of garlic powder, not too much, this could be very garlicky even though I love garlic, and a little bit of smoked paprika. This really doesn't give it any spice, but it gives it a lot of color and a little bit of flavor. I'm trying to keep it traditional here, okay? And a little bit of black pepper. Let's stir this up. You wanna make sure all the seasonings are incorporated. And then we're gonna take our egg substitute and just pour it right into the bowl. You wanna make sure to use a shallow bowl because you want good surface area when you're coating your tofu slabs. All right, so we have our beautiful frozen thawed tofu slabs. We're gonna add it here to the wet, and make sure one hand is for wet, one hand is for dry. Just a normal dredging station. And then we're gonna carefully take that and put it into our cornmeal crust. Oh my God. This looks amazing. See, I wanted to make sure that the cornmeal really stuck to the tofu, which is why I blitzed it down in a food processor. So these are our tofu slabs, gorgeous. And we're just gonna keep dipping. I can use both hands for this one because She's the last one. So while our tofus are resting, our next ingredient, some garbanzo beans, or what the commoners call chickpeas. This is gonna be the next addition to our Caesar wrap because it's gonna be in replacement of croutons. We wanna take a bowl. You'll notice I'm using a mixing bowl. That is purposeful. And we wanna use a strainer right into the bowl because we're gonna be saving this chickpea water. We're gonna just put our chickpea water aside because we're gonna use that later. Take our chickpeas, add it to a bowl. Now to our chickpeas, we wanna add a little bit of seasoning, light olive oil, because they do need a little bit of fat on them so they can cook up properly. And to this, we're gonna add a little bit more garlic chive salt, just a small sprinkle because I'm gonna add a little bit of kosher salt as well. Fun fact, salt is a flavor enhancer, not a seasoning. So please do not use salt as your only seasoning in food. Thank you very much. We're gonna add a little bit of black pepper, a little bit of garlic powder and paprika, the same seasonings we use to coat the tofu because I want some consistency. I'm gonna add in a little bit of lemon zest. A little bit of freshness. And then give this a quick toss to coat. And now we're gonna get ready to air fry. My tofu and chickpeas are ready to be put in the air fryer. We're gonna cook this at 375 for 10 to 15 minutes until they're golden brown, crispy, and the size of the chickpeas have slightly reduced in size. It sounds like our tofu and chickpeas are ready, so let's have a look. You hear that sizzle? So we just want to set this aside to let it cool completely. Now for the main component of chicken Caesar wrap, the dressing. So normally the dressing is made with egg yolks and anchovies, neither of which are vegan at all, but this is gonna be my take on it. So remember that chickpea water that we strained into here? Well, that's gonna be used now for our dressing. So we wanna take 1 clove of garlic and we wanna use a microplane to grate it into the aquafaba. The reason we wanna do this is because we really want the garlic to blend into the dressing. You don't wanna have like huge chunks of garlic in your dressing and you bite down on it. That could be very bitter and even a little bit spicy. So we just wanna make sure everything really emulsifies and mixes into the dressing. I'm gonna add some lemon zest to add a little more freshness. And we're gonna cut a cheek of lemon. I'm gonna do about 2 or 3 cheeks. And we're gonna squeeze in some fresh lemon juice. And you always wanna have an acid to your dressing. Dressings should be balanced. There should be fat, there should be acid. I like a little bit of sweetness and spice in mine. And now for the Caesar-ish portion, some Dijon mustard. So this adds a little bit more tang and body and that sort of mustardy flavor throughout. And it's kind of like that flavor when you're eating Caesar dressing, like, what is that? Dijon mustard. I really do like this brand. I think it's French. Maille? I have a French expert on the side and they just told me in my ear that it's pronounced as my. We're gonna use my cute spoon because I only use cute spoons in the Chef Priyanka household. We're gonna add about a teaspoon. This is very strong, so like don't be fooled by the amount. Then we're gonna add a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, W sauce. We're gonna add this sauce that no one knows how to pronounce into our Caesar dressing. Next, we wanna add some black pepper and a little bit of kosher salt. And now Let's make some magic. Mmm, beautiful. So you all ready to finish this chicken Caesar wrap sans chicken? We just have a few more steps remaining and then we'll be eating very shortly. So we want to get some romaine lettuce together. My romaine has been washed and dried. It usually comes like this, so please make sure to wash your romaine because you can have a lot of soot and dirt kind of all stuck in these nooks and crannies. So I like to separate the leaves, wash it in very, very cold water, and either put it in a salad spinner, which I don't have, or just let it dry, which is exactly what I did. And then you have nice, crisp, beautiful romaine lettuce, which is traditionally used in Caesar salad. And then I trim these off. So we start with an even playing field, and I'm gonna compost these, obviously. I'm dropping my lettuce ends in, and Mill recycles your peels, stalks, and forgotten leftovers. Bye-bye wilting greens. We're just gonna run our knife through it. We're gonna make like 1/2 inch slices. Honestly, the size doesn't really matter. You just don't want it to be super huge because this is going into a wrap. So we have our romaine. And I'm gonna add one more green herb slash vegetable slash aromatic because I love greens. Some beautiful spring onions. Nothing fancy. I like using the bottoms and the tops, no waste. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna dress it. So we're gonna take our homemade, plant-based, no anchovy, no egg yolk, Caesar dressing, and we're gonna just drizzle a little bit on. And honestly, this is so good just on its own. Like, you don't need to make a wrap, but a wrap is portable. You could take it to school, you could take it to lunch, for work. We wanna add 2 more things. Some fresh cracked black pepper. I love that extra little bite in there. And some vegan parm. All right. The more the better. This is like Olive Garden. Please keep going. And now for our favorite part, some quality control. Oh my God, so good. Remember our beautiful air fried crispy tofu? All right, we're gonna slice our chicken, our tofu. Ooh. Oh my God. That just looks so good. Now it's time to assemble our wrap. Oh my God. Look at that. Look at that. I'm telling you, you have to give this to a person who loves chicken Caesar wrap and see what they think. Then we're gonna take our crispy chickpeas, remember those? Instead of croutons, we're gonna add our healthy, crispy chickpeas right on top. And then we're gonna add some little cheese, because why not? I want some extra parm. Will she make it? Will she make it? And she's wrapped. And cute. How good does that look? And then we could serve it with the side of our homemade Caesar dressing. ready for this chicky Caesar wrap. I feel like I need an extra dressing dip. Oh my God. You literally would never know this is vegan. Or low waste. And the crisp of the chickpea. This is really, really good. I feel like my work here is done. Bye. Thank you all so much for tuning in to Make It Vegan. I hope you all go home and make that delicious chicky Caesar wrap for yourself, and tune into the next episode to see what else we whip up.